As you can see, we've had more snow. This is where I feed the birds because I can see them from both of my windows. That's my dining room side, and this is outside my sitting room. I have to search for number 3 today because it wasn't just on the top. Where are you, number 3? 4, 3. Okay, I've got number 3. Today I don't need the ladders because I can just stretch up tall enough to hang it on. And along with number 3, I'm going to hang the cosy house. And so I'll put the cosy house, I think I'll put it on this side. I'll hang him there. I can hang. And the button serves another purpose, just keeps them in the middle. Happy 3rd of December, everyone. Back again. This time I'm going to have a bit of a chat about knitting. What I've enjoyed with just the first 2 days is all the comments I'm getting and questions I'm getting asked. And I thought maybe what I thought was going to be my little advent diary might just change a little bit. And so if you want to ask me any questions, please leave them in the comments, and as I go through my advent diary, or my Vlogmas as I'm now having to call it, I'll try and answer them, and if there's anything I can show you then I'll try and do that. So because I've had comments on the jumpers that I've been wearing, I thought it might be a nice time just to sit and show you some of my things that I've done and tell you how things changed as I knit. So I think I started knitting when I was about 6 or 7, and I was taught with one big long needle under your right armpit. You didn't hold onto that needle and you just sort of flicked your finger round, and it's quite a fast way of knitting, and that's how I was taught right back then, and I didn't know anybody did anything any other way. And so all my first knitting, which was dolls' clothes and scarves and patches that I don't think they ever made it into anything, but that's what I was knitting: garter stitch, purl stitch. And mainly it was my grandma who showed me how to knit, because my mum crocheted, but she didn't really knit very much. So my first real proper project was actually this cardigan. And so this Fair Isle cardigan was the first ever thing I made for my own self. And I've still got it, and I still wear it. And this would be the year I got married, so 1978. That's when this cardigan was knit. And you can see it's stranded on the inside. And because the wool was expensive, and wool is always expensive, but it was too expensive to buy in one go. But in those days, most of the towns had knitting shops, and I'm not sure whether knitting shops do it now, but you could lay your wool away. And so I had a book with this pattern in. In fact, I'm just going to go and get it. I'm back. I've still got it. Traditional knitting of the British Isles. I've always been interested in history, and I really love the history of knitting and crochet and everything. And here's the pattern, look, that's it, there. And it was not only the first garment that I knit for myself, but I altered it straight away because that was too short. It was an old book even when I got it. So I lengthened the cardigan and had to work the pattern out and what have you. It never even got buttons on it, but I still wear it. And it's lovely. So that was my Fair Isle obsession well and truly started. And so I really love knitting colour work. Obviously, as you knit more, you learn more, and I soon learned how to knit socks, and so I knit plenty socks in the round, and at the time that was on 4 or 5 needles. So I used to do 4 needles and then a 5th one for knitting through. So socks went on, and then I just was obsessed with knitting blankets. So lovely mitered square, lovely for using up all your ends. And so I have absolutely so many blankets, and I always try and put a really nice border on them, so that got a crocheted border on that, and I just make them up as I go around. I'm just going to put them on the floor. So we can skip on a bit and say that I like lace knitting. This nice scarf is by a designer called Boo Knits, and I do have a few of her patterns, and I've knit a couple for myself, and I actually lost one. I lost a lovely green one. I love the beadwork on them, and I've knit these for other people too. And then but you'll see I really like colour work. So I had comments on this cardigan. This was a pattern I bought. It actually was knit top down, and there was actually cat heads here, so it was little cat faces, which was really cute. But I decided I'd put wool work roses on, and I put one yellow one on for Michael because it was his favourite. And then I found these lovely buttons at one of the yarn shows, and the lady was had a business where she made ceramic buttons, and so they went on there. But this is where you'll see a difference now that I can show you. I don't strand anymore. So I weave every stitch, and when I start my knitting well, maybe over Christmas actually, I'll be doing a little video, one of my videos on knitting and colour work, because it really interests me, and I think I might have some really good tips. Now, this cardigan is Kate Davies Designs. Really like her work, so I knit that. I like the pockets on here as well, but again you will see there's no strands. It's all woven, nothing to catch. And I think if you're weaving all your stitches, the tension ends up better, and you don't pull it. Like some people have a problem with the tension and pulling the floats. I think if you weave, it doesn't do that. So the most ambitious Fair Isle is my Marie Wallen dress. I love wearing it. I did alter the pattern a little to take the pockets off. There's no pockets, but I didn't like the neckline, and so I've done Latvian braid on there, which is a really lovely technique, and it lies nice and flat, and I think it's super duper. And I altered the arms, and as soon as I sort of got away with it, I changed the patterns going up. So it follows Marie's pattern up to about the waist, and then I didn't want to repeat the same patterns again, so I was just doing them out of my old books, and I used the same colours, but I was doing them out of my Fair Isle books. But the lovely thing is I can turn it inside out, and as you can see, it's as lovely on the inside as the out, because there's no floats. And I really like wearing this dress. I quite often wear it with a t-shirt underneath, just for the wall, but that doesn't particularly bother me. Oh, I'm sad about this one. This is beautiful. This is the Icon dress, and it is absolutely gorgeous, except it doesn't fit me anymore because I've put so much weight on this last year that I can get this on, but it looks rubbish. And this is knit in alpaca, and it's so soft and drapes so beautifully, but at the moment it isn't something I can wear. But what's nice about this is this lovely neckline. It lies really nice. That's the Icon dress. And then crochet. I do crochet quite a bit. I got really involved in crocheting blankets. I love crochet blankets. However, I did this funny banana thing. Look at it. It's really weird. I had 2 balls of this, and I don't know what I was going to do with it, but I knew I could only make something small. So I just thought, I've never had a shrug. I didn't have one. I thought, oh, maybe I'll make myself a shrug. And I just started crocheting at one wrist, and then crocheted up, and I kept trying it on, and where I needed to increase, I just increased. And it's just done in linen stitch, so that's a double crochet and a chain, double crochet and a chain. And I was just circling round, increasing as it went up my arm. And when I got to my armpit, I decided I'd split it and do it flat then. And I started on the other side of the ball with the other arm and got them both up to the same point of the split. And then because I knew I was running out, I started on trebles and a chain just to save on the yarn, because I knew I wasn't going to have enough and I had no access to any more if I'd run out. I put it on over this. I wear this over a summer dress usually. So it just goes on like that. The split goes up to there. Obviously it's not meant to go over a long sleeve dress, but it just fits perfect like that and gives you warm shoulders. And so that funny banana thing inspired this jumper here, because I actually did have 2 balls of yarn, but they were different colours. I had the blue one and the peachy one. And so I thought, I'm going to do the same over the shoulder thing, but this time with knit. So I did a twisted cast on. I knit up my arm, increasing as I went. And when I got to the underarm again, I split again, just exactly as I'd done for the other one. This time, of course, I had to split for a neckline as well. I decided I'd do rib just so it would fit nicely. So I did the back part just straight along. I didn't do any shaping at all. Got to where I wanted to join it together and then caught up with the front where I did a neckline. Joined it all together back into a circle and knit down to the wrist, which then left me with a peach ball of wool to finish the jumper. I was like, what am I going to do now? Pick up and knit. I thought, oh, why don't I just crochet it? I don't see why I can't put crochet and knit together. And so I just started crocheting around in linen stitch, which is 1 double crochet, 1 chain. And so I just carried on crocheting around until I ran out of yarn, and that's why it's short. But it's actually really nice over the top of one of my pinafore dresses. It's snuggly warm, and I actually even did a crochet neck and let it roll over. And so that's that. But I do odd things, like this crocheted neck thing is actually just crocheted rings that I've then, so just a chain, that's just a chain. Each ring is just a chain that's then double crocheted back on, and every ring I just attached to the ring before in, I think I did it in 3 places. Yeah. Yes, I attached the ring in 3 places, but it was just a one skein of this lovely yarn, and it's like, what can you do with it to make it into something? Actually, it's a bit weird when you look at it like that, but when I put it on, it just hangs nicely into the neckline of a dress and just gives you that extra little bit of colour, and I like it. The last thing I've got here is the shawl that I knit for my children. So this was Luke's christening shawl. Took me 4 weeks to knit this, and then obviously it got used for Naomi too. And it's really simple pattern. A lot of shawls are a really simple pattern. This one really is, but the edging's so pretty. I've never made another big shawl, so I don't tend to wear this. It's just been in the drawer with the rest of my knitting. So I think I'm going to say happy 3rd of December, everyone, and definitely if there's anything you want, any questions you want to ask me, just put them in the comments and I'll try and address them as I go through my Advent diary. And I do have plans for every single day, but they might actually change. Today was going to be something different, and it's ended up being knitting because I get asked about the knitting, and it just seems like a nice way to address it when I'm going to be speaking to you every day. So bye from Marion's World. I see you tomorrow. Keep warm. Oh, and if you're in a hot country, stay cool. Bye everyone.